Oktargar friends, hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today is Dynamic Effort Squat and Deadlift Day. So again, it's going to be box squats. I feel like right now, because I'm doing a fair amount of volume with it, and box squats are somewhat easier to recover from, they work well with my speed work. I'm going to do box squats mostly for now, and speed squats. And again, it seems to be carrying over pretty well. We'll see how Monday comes along with my max effort back squat. See if my squat has increased. I think it will. I'm going to shoot for another 10-pound increase. I think that's going to be reasonable. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't want to make too big of predictions, but that's what I'm going to hope for. We'll get up to, 405 and see how that feels and then jump into it. But speed squats went good today. I felt like I was a little more explosive than I was with the 5 pounds lighter last time. And I felt like it was a good, comfortable weight to work with. Everything felt good. Again, felt like I had a good amount of speed. I think the one set, it might have been like set 5 or 6. I took a slightly wider stance. This is still a fairly wide stance for me. And it did feel a little more awkward as far as trying to get the knees out and everything. But otherwise, all the sets felt pretty good. It felt good. And I've got a video coming out. I've already filmed explaining why box squats, why certain people need to use them, where you benefit. You guys note I'm not really a fan of the box squat for the novice lifter. Not a fan for the novice lifter unless they're used as a training tool. They can be used as a psychological tool. They can be used to teach people to hit depth. But outside of that, the true box squat, not really. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's best left to high volume, high load training for a little bit more advanced lifters, which is what I'm using it for. So a lot of people are going to see this, and this is what I always have to remind people who are watching my training program. They might be running one of my novice programs, and they'll ask something like, can I change the back squat to a box squat? Can I change the bench press to a floor press? And it's like, no, guys, no. Build your base. Use your conventional exercises to build your base and understand the place for things like this. And I'm looking out for your best interest when I say that. I'm looking out for your best interest. You're not strong enough to worry about things like the axial loading on a box squat versus these, because you're forced to use a slightly lighter weight on a box squat, right? You don't need to worry about those things. Just get your squat strong. And then you can worry about stuff like this later. And I think it works better in certain types of training. And there's going to be times where I might cut the box squats back out and just do normal back squats for my speed work. There'll be a point where I might go to band work for some of my speed boxes. I mean, I have all the equipment to do it. But they went good today. I was happy with it. And really, I wanted to focus on the deadlifting more today, and I got a little upset that my thumbs started giving out. I feel like I'm going to just do my speed pulls with as many sets as my thumbs can handle. And the thumbs were looking really good after the 4th set, like the 4th single that I did. That's not counting warm-ups, by the way. That's not counting warm-ups. They were good, and I'm like, man, I bet you I can get 6 or 7. And then I did the 5th one, and then I noticed my skin starting to get close to tearing on my left thumb. And so I'm just like, damn it. Part of me almost, instead of doing good mornings after, wanted to just strap up and do an AMREP just to see, how many I could rep out with that weight if I could get to like 10 plus reps with straps on without my grip being an issue on the hook grip. But I realized I probably don't need to do that. I might do that eventually. I toyed with it. But as you guys will see in a moment, after a couple more of these sets of box squats, I did a slight bump on the speed work on the Sumo. But they all felt good. They all felt strong. They all felt relatively fast, which is what I want. Again, using the box squat to build my squat and my Sumo, and then using the Sumo speed work to build my conventional, because these are all the same muscles worked. And that's what people need to remember. When we're talking about assistance movements like this, we are picking ones that carry over back and forth while working these different movement patterns. But they do need to feed into your main lifts. They do need to do so. And that is how you get big and strong all the way around when you start incorporating exercise variations. And I think it starts to get very important when we start messing with concurrent style periodization like this. This loosely based on the conjugate method, and I do mean that loosely. So as to not offend Louis Simmons. Carryover is important. You do need to be looking at, is this exercise going to carry over to my other ones? Because what are my main lifts? What is it that we care about? The big 5, right? Squat, bench, deadlift, the press, and the weighted pull-up or weighted chin-up. That's our big 5. And that's going to be my big 5. And that's kind of the core cornerstones of the Orc Mode training, right? They work the muscles effectively that you need to get orky. His body composition gets on point. And I'm actually curious. I mean, I'm not ready to go do another DEXA scan yet. I don't feel like it. I really don't. But I am starting to wonder how much recomposition has occurred. Because I think it's looking at my legs at this point, I don't think anyone thinks I'm fat. If you think I'm fat at this point, you're borderline mentally handicapped. You should probably go speak to a therapist or whatever. I predict I'm about 16% body fat now. I was 17% on the DEXA. I feel like I've gotten a hair leaner, but I feel like I've gained muscle more than anything. So I've been gaining muscle again. In spite of being on the keto diet, I'm not looking flat or anything, and that's been the interesting thing too. And also I think it'd be curious for me eventually to see if what I've gained in terms of recomp over time while being completely off my TRT. Like that for me is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to be genuinely curious. But the sumos went pretty good. Like I said, my thumbs were the limiting factor. Oh, by the way, I threw a belt on. I don't normally deadlift in a belt. I feel like with the sumo, because I'm trying to just work on good neuromuscular efficiency, why do we wear a belt? Better neuromuscular efficiency. I decided to belt up. You know, I did so many years of just beltless training and stuff again, and I felt like even the beltless pause squats with the way my pelvis roll under contributed to my back strain. And no, I don't think belts necessarily help prevent back injuries. They don't stop things like, you know, posterior pelvic tilt and stuff like that. Technique and all of that affects it. But again, if I'm trying to maximize neuromuscular efficiency, maybe messing with the belt on even some of these speed pulls would be a good idea. And I don't like the belt on conventional deadlift. I don't like it. I've never been comfortable with it. But for sumo, I don't know, it feels like a different beast. The belt is more comfortable. I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I can get air. So if I can get the benefit from a belt, you know, I thought I might as well try. And I don't know, it feels a little bit faster. I feel a little more explosive with it. And it's hard to be explosive on a sumo. It really is. It's not necessarily the nature of the lift. At times, it's hard to follow through with that acceleration, even though you can get some decent leverage advantages on it depending on how you're built. But yeah, I mean, I'm just going to keep working it on this speed day. And eventually, hopefully, my thumbs will catch up. You know, I wish I had been able to get like 6 or 7 or 8. And again, I just don't want to tear the skin on my thumbs. I'm just going to keep toughing it up. I'm just going to push my thumbs to the limit. We're going to do a heavy conventional with hook grip every Monday. And then we're going to do the speed work on the sumo until my thumbs give out. My thumbs are going to be the limiting factor. And we will, over time, just keep toughening it up. And need be, I'll start doing my extra grip work and stuff again. I have pinch blocks and everything. But, you know, I mean, the deadlifts felt good. All of those were fine. It's just my thumbs. And, you know, a lot of people would say silly stuff like, oh, well, don't let your grip ever be a limiting factor. Use stress. Like, that's the stupidest shit. That's how you end up with a weak grip. That's just nonsense. Why shouldn't your grip be a limiting factor? If you've got a limiting factor, then you need to strengthen that limiting factor, not try to work around it. It is what it is. So I decided to go ahead and do my good mornings again today. I didn't do any bicep work. I did some light band work afterwards. I'm like, let me just do some band work. My connective tissue is feeling a little bit inflamed in my biceps from all the heavy pulling and pull-ups and everything. But all the cheat curls I'm doing a fair amount of curling. I decided not to do cheat curls today. And I might not do them on these more volume days because I end up doing the volume rows the next day. So I might stick to just doing them when I have the recovery to spare in my biceps. Do a bunch of cheat curls after my max effort squat and deadlift day. I think that might be the best place to fit them. Because my biceps I'll do other band work throughout the week if need be. And my biceps are getting worked on 2 other days with the pull-ups and the rows. But I think getting some good quality sets of curls in after I squat and deadlift on Mondays is going to be a mainstay today. I felt like they were not recovered from the pull-ups. They were throbbing a little bit. And I realized I need more posterior chain work anyway. So I went ahead and did my good mornings again. Like, I feel like I need these to help with my squat and my deadlift. Just seeing a little bit of hamstring going on there. Hamstrings are coming back. They're not fully back to where they were, but they're definitely coming back. And so we can see them. They're pretty good. So yeah, I mean, this was a very West Side-ish day today, even though no bands or anything. Speed box squat, speed sumo deadlifts, and then good mornings, right? Yep. But all in all, good workout. Had a good amount of workload finished. I was happy with all the lifts. I just wish my thumbs would get tougher, and they're going to get tougher. You make them tougher by doing the work. And so that's pretty much it. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll let you guys finish out watching this set, and I will talk to you guys next time.